Hi everyone, this is Varvara with the Dawson Varvara Team, and I'm here with Brandon Turner, and I'm here with Hayley Day. We are really excited for you to be joining us today. We have Hayley, who is one of our top real estate photographers, and one of the top real estate photographers in New York City at DDReps. They are featured in every magazine you can imagine, and we really wanted to sit down with you today and have you talk to our audience, because really I feel photography is one of the most important aspects of the real estate selling process, and it's something that just gets usually glossed over, like, oh yes, we're going to go take photos, but really there is so much that goes into it, and we are so happy that you're joining us to talk to our friends, our family, and our network about it.
It's really great to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you today. So I guess we'll start off. What got you into photography?
Yeah.
Well, for me, photography was like my A, B, C, D, like all options. I didn't really have another backup. I started with wedding photography back in college to help get me through, and after college, when I was like, weddings is really not my thing, I went into documentary work for not-for-profits for a bit, which was amazing because I was able to travel the world, do something that everyone wants to do when they get out of school, right? And get paid for it as well. But
it's important.
I know, it's a big bonus. But once I started wanting to like settle down more and find a place to call home, I really like honed in on New York City a lot. And one day I was like meeting friends through a friend. I met Joel, who's on our team, and he introduced me to Brian and Donna at DDReps, and they opened me with open arms, and it's been great ever since. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So it's a big transition from going from shooting weddings, people drinking, like partying, dancing, traveling the world for more documentary work, to then going to more still image.
Yeah.
That's it. How did what drew you to real estate, I guess?
When I first started shooting real estate, I was just like, this is amazing. I'm shooting homes in places that people never really get to see. And at DDReps, we focus a lot on the interior design of it. So when you see our work, it's a lot of the Architectural Digest feel. It's very high end. It's not just making the room look big or something, or just shooting the rooms, but it's about shooting the moment and telling the story of this home.
Yeah, and I guess, as Rob mentioned, one of the most important aspects, we're in such a digital age, and photography is so important. I mean, buyers, our sellers are really searching online, and photos are super important, and that's why we love you, because of your kind of architectural interior design shots that just look so beautiful online. So I guess another question that I would say is kind of when you walk into a space, and I know I always say, Hayley, do your thing. What's kind of the first thing you look for in the space?
Well, the first thing I look for, and the first thing I do every time I go into a new space, actually, I want to take a tour and just walk through it. Really get to know the space and see its little quirks and the little details and the nooks that really make that space special. And once I kind of hone in on either the dining space or the kitchen or even the reading nooks, those are important moments. You got to think about the person who's going to be there in the future. Are they going to be having their cup of coffee over there by the window every single morning? Because, I mean, drinking your cup of coffee in the morning is such a ritual.
I can't live without it. Right?
Me too.
Exactly. And you guys probably drink your coffee in the same spot every single day, right?
Yes.
That's true.
And so it's we want people to imagine that moment and to really imagine themselves in that moment. Because you're telling their daily story of how they start their day, how they end their day. And nowadays, too, how they're going to work now. How are they going to work from home?
Yeah. It's a very good point. The reason why we love working with you is because you really capture that in your photography. And it's not just, you know, this room, it is focusing on little details within each listing to help people see themselves there. And to help, you know, people see them in that space.
Yeah. Because I mean, like when I walk into every home, it's like, it's like a fun game I like to play in my head. It's like, how would I style this place? How would I live in this space?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where I've completely like moved furniture and stuff. I've like reorganized, like picked up and moved couches with agents and everything.
And I will say a lot of clients look at the photographers after the fact, and these moments that you capture, people are saying just like, wow, you know, do I really have to sell this space? This is amazing.
That happens so much too. People are just like, wait, that's my home? Yeah. It's like, do I have to sell it now? And it's just kind of like, well, this could have been it.
I mean, I will say, I think photography is the single most important part of a listing. We write elaborate listing descriptions. I could probably put at the bottom of the description that we're giving the apartment away for free. Most people will not contact us or get to the end of the description. It's all about the photography. It's all about, it's everything's so visual now.
Yeah, we're visual beings.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember like when I was in school and stuff, it was always like you have to learn by reading and writing. And like there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, as humans, like, we like to see, we want to touch, we want to experience it now. And it's just like the more that we go towards, like with our iPhones and social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, we want to see things and we want to be able to envision things too.
Yeah. And you know, you being the professional and our photographer of choice, you know, I remember, I think it was last week, we're in a shoot and we were trying to shoot this extremely complicated kitchen. And you know, you have such a different lens than I do as the broker, where you saw this fridge that was in a very awkward position, and you know, you were able to kind of move that fridge. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, we did.
You moved the fridge?
I made him move the fridge for us and pick up cabinetry that was like movable as well. And I was like, so we're gonna flip this and we're gonna push the fridge more into the corner here so it's farther away and not like directly on the lens. Because like what I see in the lens, it looks massive then, it takes away floor space, you don't really see into the kitchen at that point.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, let's move this around, let's kind of like play around a little bit and see how we can make this kitchen its fullest potential.
Yeah, and it was just something that, you know, I wouldn't have thought of. I would have shot, you know, the photo right there and then. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the power of photography and the importance of photography. I think there's a little bit of an elephant in the room, and I think there's this distrust around real estate photography.
Yeah.
Right? And there's like this stigma attached to it where I feel like people are shocked when they come into some of our listings and they're like, oh wow, this apartment looks exactly like the photos. One thing I really appreciate about you is your integrity with photography.
Yeah.
You really capture a space for what it is, so when someone comes in, they're not surprised.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like even photographing people. Like the whole, like before when people would Photoshop a lot and make people look skinnier or prettier or whatever, it's like we're in a day and age where we want to see the truth.
Yeah.
And I like firmly believe, like all of us photographers at DDReps and myself, we believe in like showing that full truth and showing those beautiful moments though, because they are beautiful moments still. It's just letting people see that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been, you know, it's the photography advancement since when I started 5 years ago, and I can't imagine from when Rob started 12 or so years ago.
We use those
the difference, you know, and it's a time in the past where people come in and say, oh wow, this space is so much smaller than what it is.
Yeah.
It's all a testament to you. So.
And you know, thank you so much for sitting down with us today and doing this. It's exciting for us to introduce you to our audience, because it's important for them to know and see, you know, what goes into a listing, and you're a huge part of that. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.